raunchy reading. Here, sipping on this Crown Black, reading a selection by Romeo Walker called Daydreaming. Devon sat in class listening to the teacher drone on. His thoughts not on Shakespeare play that he was supposed to be reading. Rather, they were on many different things: music, women, and money. "Mr. White, what is your opinion of Puck?" the teacher asked. Devon looked down at his book, drawn back into the play by the question. He searched hurriedly for a passage. "It's your opinion, Mr. White," the teacher quipped, and walked around the room, coming to a stop beside Devon's desk. Devon snapped his head up, looking at the balding, middle-aged Latino teacher. He stared hard at him. The teacher barely took notice of Devon's hard looks as he again paced around the class. "Puck, sir, what do you think of him?" "I don't know. He's a troublemaker." Devon turned to see who had interrupted him. His brown eyes fell upon Centrice Elway. She sat there looking at him with the air of indifference. Centrice had been in several of his classes. They had spoken on occasion and even exchanged phone numbers early on. But there was nothing there. She was pretty, Devon thought, but not really a dime. "Puck seems to like to see comedic things happening in the play," explained Centrice. She smiled meekly at Devon. "That's good, Miss Elway," the teacher said. "When he sprinkles his dust, strange things happen." Centrice beamed. Devon glowered. He ran his hand over the waves in his hair. Devon did not like to be discredited or have someone show him up. "Devon, maybe you should study a little harder, or come to class when you really want to be here." Devon sighed audibly. He heard snickers and giggles from the back of the class. The class ended a short time later. Devon stalked out of the classroom, determined to get away from the embarrassment. He hurried and shoved his books into his bag. The mood of the students startled Centrice. She looked around for Devon. He was angry, she could tell. Over what, though? She didn't know. That's not good, Centrice thought to herself. Centrice had harbored a crush on Devon since she had first laid eyes on him. The first time being when she had seen him in Mr. Dr. Green's English 101 class 10 minutes late. Standing in the doorway looking around. The latecomer was dressed in a white Dallas Mavericks jersey, black jean shorts, and white K-Swiss sneakers. All the seats were taken, except for the one next to her. For almost an hour, she had to sit in class inhaling his cologne, becoming more intoxicated with his scent. When he spoke, his gruff voice sounded beautiful to her. Centrice was so preoccupied that she didn't hear the professor at all during the first class period. Her panic threatened to be overwhelmed. They exchanged smiles throughout the hour. However, when class ended, Devon exited into the waiting arms of a light-skinned cutie. Centrice surveyed the girl as she walked past. The girl was undeniably beautiful, dressed in a baby blue halter top emblazoned with UNC logo across the front, a cream-colored miniskirt, and baby blue heels. Her long, curly hair was put into a ponytail that flowed down her back. To Centrice, the girl looked like if she had stepped out of a music video. Centrice went back to her dorm room that day and eased her urging with her 8-inch black dildo. Devon's face, smile, and scent crept into her imagination, spurring her to satisfaction. Sitting right next to Devon, all Samantha was a torment. He began to appear in her dreams, romancing her, but ultimately losing her for a nameless beauty in Tar Heels outfit. Centrice broke from the daydream, wondering how many times she would let him pass her by. How many times would she wonder it would be like to have his arms roaming over her body or to kiss him deeply on his full lips. She fixed her brow, propping her already ample cleavage, and raising her skirt slightly. Centrice strode from classroom, intent on her mission to find Devon. She stalked down the hallway purposely, ignoring the looks from the other men, their catcalls and whispers. Devon stormed out the building. He was pissed about class, not just the smart teacher, but also Centrice. What the hell was her problem? Devon muttered to himself. Devon thought back to the first class he had with Centuries, English 101. He had searched for a seat and eventually sat down beside a cocoa brown-skinned female. While now on the scale of Narissa, Centuries was nonetheless pretty. Narissa had been his girl for more than a year. Centuries smiled at him invitingly as he walked over to sit down. Throughout the period, Devon noticed Centuries continually fixing her breasts, causing them to sit up more prominently in her peach-colored button-down blouse. The twin cocoa brown mounds of flesh looked tantalizing, and Devon's dick sprang to life in response. He began shifting in the chair, trying to hide his growing erection. One time, Devon spied Centuries staring at him longingly. She blushed and turned away. Devon stifled a smile. He peered at her again. She was shapely, not model material like Narissa. This girl was more down-home thick in all the right places. If he didn't have Narissa, he would holler at her. Right after class, Devon got formally introduced to his pretty neighbor as she spoke softly. Devon found out her name was Centuries. She was from Philly and lived on campus. They exchanged numbers, but before they exited class. Much to his chagrin, Narissa was waiting for him outside. As he embraced Narissa, she watched Centuries walk down the hallway, giving the couple a glance before stepping into the elevator. Devon now headed into the library. Right then, he needed someplace to cool down. The library was somewhat empty. He looked around, searching for a secluded, unoccupied study booth. He finally found one back near the encyclopedias. Devon had been moving fast, making it difficult to keep up with. Centuries did her best by catching fleeting glimpses of his khaki one-shoulder bag. She watched him enter the library. She trailed him inside and saw him take a seat at the solitary study booth. Centuries stopped right inside the double-glass doors of the library. She wondered if this could go through with what she was planning. Her nerves were all jumbled. However, her hormones were working into her fever pitch. She stuttered herself and then guided over to the booth. Devon was completely unaware of her. Centuries stood back and marveled at him. "You are so sexy when you're mad," Centuries breathed into his ear. Devon moved slightly. He leaned back, his head coming to rest in Centuries'